Got a lot of our brains dedicated to color. If we just use 3 different similarity metrics, theoretically we should get 3 different views on what's going on. Things that don't work, viewing across different window sizes, for whatever reason there's self-similarity, you just get blur. It's not very meaningful. I did come up with a construction for turning arbitrary compression algorithms into a similarity metric. You can do it. The problem is they're too good. They find similarities in things that you can't actually see. Now, this may or may not be a good thing for your uses. It visually is useless though. It destroys the ability to do segmentation. Now, figuring out exactly what it's finding, that's an interesting question, but it's a different project. Better symbol selection. You want to find similarity. Right now I'm doing dumb comparison between bytes. Becoming x86 aware, doing jump target normalization, integrating context-free grammars from Sequitur, re-implementing pretty much everything Halvar's done and moving into the visual realm. Awesome. You can do all that kind of stuff. Now that's things I might do. We got a couple minutes left, 8 minutes. You don't think I'm done now, do you? Now, autocorrelation is interesting. Cross-correlations where the real fun resides. In autocorrelation, we're going to compare A to A. In cross-correlation, we're going to compare A to B. Now, I hate to admit this, when you take 2 different files and compare them using this method, it looks like crap. Almost always. Not always, but almost always. There's a really notable exception. And that's if you take 2 versions of the same binary. All right. I've managed to skip enough demos. I've got to show at least one thing live because it's pretty cool. We are going to take 2 versions of a particular DLL. Actually, come on. Yeah, this is what happens when your images are 10,000 by 10,000. They take a little while to load. Actually, I think this one's even bigger. All right, check it out, right? I think I can make this full screen. Maybe. Maybe. Yes, cool. No, that's not cool. Hang on. So it's actually going to try to zoom in. I don't want it to zoom in. Or zoom out more accurately. So we're looking at a 16K by 13K image, right? And this is 2 DLLs, 2 separate versions, separated by about 2 years of development. And let's see if we can find similarities between them. Well, here's just the beginning of the file. Not that much similar. We've got a diagonal here. We've got a diagonal here. But let's just follow the broken line. Oh, broken line. Code inserted, back to normal, back to normal. Oh, look at this, another break. I don't know if you could automate the line finding, but you can certainly see it. All you're doing is I don't know if it shows up on screen, but there's actually a line. It's a broken line that traverses down here. And you can follow it. And this is basically a binary diff between 2 versions of the same DLL. So, cool. And of course I've got slides, this in the slides as well. Here's a shift, an insertion, there's deletions if you get vertical slope increases. MSVCR 7.0 versus MSVCR 7.1. Here's just straight up new code shows up in 7.1 because you get a nice vertical line right here. Oh, I didn't expect this would actually be as useful as it turned out. So, I can't believe it. I'm actually going to be ending on time with time for questions. In summary for the day, your VPN is under threat. If you actually want the ability to not go into work and not commute, you should probably tell the bosses the telcos are out to mess with you. I can develop the test, but if steroids aren't illegal, a test isn't useful. Check your devices for generic SSL certs. I'm going to be working with some vendors. That's one of the reasons I'm not naming names. The guys in the room who know what I'm talking about, don't do that. That's going to be really embarrassing when that comes out. Fix any application that submits to HTTPS from HTTP. It's not difficult. You have straight up JavaScript. It's great. It's trivial. If you're using DNS, I told you how to fix that. Stop expecting users to remember long strings of hex characters. There's cover your ass, and then there's come on, you're full of it. Fuzz your file formats. Dear God. Way too few software vendors are doing that. And take a look at your data. You might be surprised at what you find. That's what I got. got any questions? Where? Go ahead. Hang on, why don't you actually come up? Because I don't think anyone else is going to be able to hear you. Because I certainly won't. Just come up to me. Oh, you're getting, okay. Mic duty's coming. Cool. All right.
Hello. Oh, it's on? Okay. So you have those pretty graphs, and you can see the various patterns, but then can you translate that back to what program addresses the different areas correspond to, so you could actually use that information?
Yeah. So the game is that you can have really, really inefficient algorithms that if you tie them to just look at this really tiny window, they'll be incredibly accurate for. So what you do is you'd manually trace out, or you'd attempt to automatically discover the similarity line, and then use much more accurate algorithms after that to go ahead and go from the line. Because I mean, when all we're talking about, the XY coordinates, are chunks of the file. So you can go from a visual coordinate to byte 100,000 here is very similar to byte 834 there. You just straight up do that. So it works really well. Nope. It's a linear correspondence between location in the file and offset in the graph. That is I totally see where you're coming from. It is maintained. Hang on, someone with the mic go.
I own it, thanks for a living.
Good, can you tell them to stop screwing this up? It's really embarrassing.
I'll start with the more basic, I'm working on more basic issues actually.
Okay.
Like, you really shouldn't store social security numbers in plain text in your database.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're at that level with, or with some people. You should encrypt your databases sometimes. And I get pushback on that. So that, now, so
the one
not uniform. Some banks are way up good.
The one difference that I'll say is that there is some fundamental difference between problems at the back end that no one can see and problems at the front end that are really, really stupid looking. Especially when the why is this secure is like, you can say it's secure all you want, but you know who else can say? The fishers that are costing you a crap ton of money.
Oh no, absolutely. And in some places the message is well received. And in some places, you point out people are violating their very own published secure privacy policies, and they don't want to spend money to fix it.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, hopefully with the existence of a very cheap and very straightforward solution that maintains what the user interface guys absolutely want, we'll see some traction. They're banks on the top 10.
I know.
All right, go ahead.
What do you think of audio for real-time differential analysis as opposed to using video? Put a set of headphones on and just listen while you work.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things that I tried doing, right? So it turns out if you take a data set, you compress individual blocks. What you get is you get a signal, a 1D signal, that looks like it would be interesting to make audio out of. So I use this code base called Pratt, and I actually tried it. And it didn't sound very good.
Okay.
It may be possible, especially if I can get a backwards transform between the vision and the audio. But if you just look at the amount of raw bandwidth available for data analysis, we have a lot more visually than auditorial. Audio is really good for sustained signal stuff. So just like stuff in the background, be like, wait, I've never heard that before. Audio rules for that. Well, hang on. Let's. I don't mean to skip, but I've got a couple people asking. But find me later. Here.
Oh, you got another question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say hi.
Oh, hey, Dennis.
Okay.
Rock on. What's up? Okay.
Anybody else got another question?
Are you going to publish all the SSL certificates that you collected, or for, the top 50 of them by frequency, maybe?
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. I should have mentioned it during my talk. If you want to see what your company is exposing, send me an email. I'll have someone from IOActive send it back to you. I'm not going to show what everyone's doing. I may do top 50. Well, except for the one that I shouldn't. Like I said, they know who they are. Oh yeah, here we are.
On the iframe stuff, if it's in an iframe, then the user can't see the padlock.
Oh no. This is the, okay, actually, no, you can keep that, actually.
I'm trying to keep
Oh yeah, so the deal is that the user doesn't know the iframe is opening up. But when they go to the password thing, it flashes over. And when it flashes over, then it's secure. And what you do then is you have a padlock be open and you have the padlock close. So you actually, on the SSL site, as opposed to the normal site has the padlock open. When they go to type in the password, there's a weird flash, and then the padlock moves. This shouldn't matter. It totally matters.
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm not quite following. I'm
Okay,
talking about the padlock on the bottom right that should appear if you only have one iframe that's HTTPS and the rest of your page is HTTPS.
The idea is that you're just using the iframe to preload the contents. So when you switch over to the SSL site, just because you went to the, you added focus to the password window, when you move over, then it pops you. It does a page redirect. It does window location href.
So what was the point of the preload then?
You're just using, no. The preload is to make the switch over fast.
Oh, so it's just an optimization?
Yes.
It's not a security benefit that you're talking about?
Well, it's a security benefit because people actually start doing it. You know, what is it that they want to refute? It's perf, right? Yeah. Perf we could solve this problem by having, like Wells Fargo does, because I can name names when they're doing good. Wells Fargo has every single site you see on their page come in over SSL. Unfortunately, this is very expensive and a pain in the ass to maintain. But they do that.
I thought the overhead for SSL wasn't all that bad.
The overhead for the actual bulk data is not that bad. The overhead for session initialization is a pain in the ass. Enough that you do not want to do it for every random person who's browsing your website. You really only want to do it when they're doing online banking.
Okay.
I mean, that's just where the data seems to stay.
Okay. Thanks.
Anybody else got any other questions?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a question on the iframes. Is it browser dependent? Does it work on all the browsers? Will it look the same way in all the different browsers?
Works great everywhere. Standard behavior.
Okay, and then the other one I had was on SSL. Does it matter if they use form-based posting on the website or digest?
Well, pretty much everyone uses it. People have abandoned basic auth and digest auth and all those kind of things for scalability issues. Will it work? Yeah, you know, no, yeah, that would work great. Well, let me think about that.
Right, because what I've seen is if you're using a man-in-the-middle attack against an SSL site, it tends to, if they didn't do it right, they tend to do basic form-based posting, and then you basically grab all the information that converts from HTTPS to HTTP.
Yeah, well, so the idea is a user should not provide their personally identifiable information, especially if it leads to their money, unless they have reason to believe that the thing that is requesting it is secure. The banks have turned this into, well, as long as it actually eventually goes over a secure line. It only goes into a secure line if there's no bad guy. If there's a bad guy, you're screwed. But I thought the whole point is that we're trying to defend against bad guys. So yes, if the idea is that the initial form comes in securely, but the moment you try to do anything with it, it swaps you over. And the idea is that the user should be trained, don't type in your password. You can type in your username, but don't type in your password until you see the lock. And if you don't see the lock, don't put it in.
That seems like a hard thing to train, because what you're really doing is it's normal to have if it was a bad guy's altered page, then it just wouldn't switch and the user would keep typing in their password.
Yeah, well the thing is, the switch is actually somewhat visually intrusive. You would notice if it was missing. You'd be like, that's funny, it didn't flicker for a moment, something's wrong.
Hopefully.
Okay, yes, I am being hopeful, but you know.
You see the